Light. It's starting to warm up in here. I believe it's 3 degrees outside. Winter Olympics begin on NBC in just 4 days. We go back to Mike Tirico in Pyeongchang, South Korea, where it's almost 7 a.m. Monday morning. Mike and Brandon Cooks, he'll heat things up for the Patriots. He had 6 catches, 100 yards against the Jags. Mike?
Yeah, you guys have come in from the cold. We've done the reverse. We're on the rooftop of the International Broadcast Center about 40 minutes before sunrise. As you said, Dan, it's cold here, 2 below, and that's very common this time of the year in the South Korean mountains. Going to be a factor throughout these Pyeongchang Olympics. Okay, we're ready. So is Lindsey Vonn, who today, for the second consecutive day, won a World Cup downhill race in Germany. It's her 3rd downhill win in a row, the 81st World Cup victory of her legendary career. She's that much closer to the all-time mark of 86 career World Cup wins. Lindsey Vonn will be competing in her 4th Olympics and first since winning downhill gold 8 years ago in Vancouver. She's just one of the stars you'll see chasing gold here in Pyeongchang.
I've never been one to back down. Oh, perfect 100! Are you kidding me? To the old ground. Oh, my goodness! Way out to the cheap. Lindsey Vonn is the gold medalist. I feel like a bloodhound. What's up, 5 quads? You know stealing ain't my thing, but I'll throw myself in the ring.
The can of Schifrin wins gold.
I got a taste for gold. I got a taste for gold. I got a taste for gold. I got a taste for gold. I got a taste for gold.
The stars you'll see from the U.S. here in South Korea. Those are some of the heroes from the U.S. and South Korea. Osan Air Base, once again, Dylan Dreyer, Apollo Ono watching the Super Bowl with those folks.
Here, and we have at Osan Air Base about 5,000 service members, and most of them are here right now.
And we're here right now. We got Patriots fans, we got Eagles fans. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Marissa, and I'm from Philadelphia.
And what's your name? Where are you from?
Matt Kinahan, Torrance, in Connecticut.
And go Pats, and I gotta get this shirt.
Look at these shoes.
We're all
A lot of love here.
Looks awesome, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl Monday down there as we count down to that here in Pyeongchang. We're looking forward to what should be an exciting start to the games. It begins Thursday live in prime time here on NBC, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, with figure skating's team event, where we could get our first glimpse of Nathan Chen. Then on Friday, the opening ceremony with Team USA in the Parade of Nations and the lighting of the Olympic cauldron. We're going to sit back and enjoy the Super Bowl. Back to you in Minneapolis, Dan.
All right, Mike, thank you. Kickoff of Super Bowl 52 is fast approaching here in Minneapolis. But first, this from the NBC Comedy Superstore and Pizza Hut.
You'd be playing in the Super Bowl for the Patriots. What would you have said back to me?
I told you it was a lie.
He's hit it, set, and the ball came out. James Harrison got him.
I know how good a player has played against him for a long time.
Brady in trouble, and down he goes.
I like him much better in an art-colored jersey.
Well, it wasn't so much an enemy. It was more like I just didn't like him because he beat me more than I liked. That was the first person I saw when I came into the locker room. He talked to me, I talked to him, and, we got a selfie. I had to throw everything else, down the drain. I'm a weight room guy. I haven't really seen Tom in the weight room. I get there about 5. I mean, he may be in the building. I don't even know where Tom come into the building now. Probably got a special interest that I don't know about yet.
I think you get that with 5 Super Bowl rings. Coach Harbaugh, you went against James Harrison every year you were in Baltimore. You got to be thrilled he's in New England.
Absolutely. I'm fired up to see him play. From not being on the sideline, but he's really tough for young offensive tackles because he gets under the blocker. I'm not sure when the last time they blocked somebody so short in their careers.
And he's the oldest defensive player in the NFL. And when Harrison was a Steeler playing against the Patriots, he often went up against New England's left tackle, Nate Solder. Solder had been protecting Tom Brady for 7 years now. He's won 2 Super Bowls with Brady. But as the Today Show's Dylan Dreyer learned, last year's title was more meaningful because he got to celebrate with his son, Hudson.
Why was it so important for you guys to make sure he was on the field with the confetti coming down?
We made a big push for that, just because it was such a tough couple years, and so it was just a big celebration for us. It was very exciting.
Come on! For Nate Solder and his family, those tough couple years began in 2014 when Nate was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He had successful surgery and then returned to the Patriots and won his first Super Bowl. 5 months later, Hudson was born.
You beat cancer, you're playing football again at the highest level. You have a son, everything's going great, and then he's 3 months old and he's diagnosed with cancer. What was that moment like to hear those words?
There was a lot of emotions, because I just felt like I'd done something wrong. I felt like I'd caused it. I felt like I had let him down, and we just had so many high hopes as first-time parents that everything was just going to go so smooth and everyone was just going to be happy. Right off the bat, that was not the case for us. You can fight your way out of a paper bag.
When he was diagnosed at 3 months old, his kidneys were the size of pears when they should have been the size of peanuts.
The diagnosis was a rare form of pediatric kidney cancer. Hudson went through months of successful chemo, and his port was removed the week before Super Bowl 51 and that on-field celebration. But then, this past September, a routine scan showed the cancer was growing again, which meant more chemotherapy.
We're doing 25 weeks straight of chemo. We're coming towards the end, and everything's moving in the right direction. He's starting to handle the chemo better. It's hard, it's stressful, but he's doing so well through it that gives you kind of a little hope in all of this.
How is he as a patient?
Sometimes it's unbelievable, the things that he does. I mean, we try to be totally honest with him and say, Hudson, we're going to put a needle in, and it's going to be painful, but we're going to be here with you. And he'll sit there like a Zen baby, just like totally absorbing it all, and he won't make a squeak, won't make a sound. It's like amazing.
When he was little and he was learning his body parts, we would say, Hudson, where's your elbow? And he'd point to his elbow. Or where's your lips? And he'd point to his lips. And then we'd say, where's your port? And he would point to his port.
For so many people, when they get a diagnosis like this, the rest of your life gets put on hold. But your day job happens to be with the New England Patriots, who are on their way to the Super Bowl again. So how do you even balance your life and your job?
There's been plenty of times this season where I could not separate the two. I was totally consumed by what was going on at home. But right now, I think there's so many good things going on. We're so happy. Why not just play my best ball, win another game, and have some fun doing it?
Have your family right there with you?
Yeah, they're going to be there. They're going to be supporting me like they always do. I feel so thankful for them.
We often talk about how tough athletes are as you look at Nate Solder, but the kids are the ones that are so resilient. Tony, you as a former coach, John, you as a current coach, that delicate balance that you have between family and football.
Yeah, you got to help your players out. You're there for them. I remember 1997 with the Bucs, our first playoff run, and Mike Husted is our kicker. His mom is battling the same thing, cancer. He's back and forth to the hospital. He missed a couple of kicks, and they wrote an article, we better cut Mike Husted before he costs us a playoff berth. I went into the team meeting. I said, I don't care if Mike misses every kick this week. Defense, you better get the ball back and let's go. Derek Brooks looked me right now. He said, Coach, we got him. And that's what you need.
It matters so much to the players, Coach, that they know you care more about their families than you do just about the football, right?
We're back. We're going to take on Field Live. Much more, including my conversation with Tom Brady. It's Super Bowl Sunday here on NBC.
This portion of the Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC was brought to you by Pizza Hut.
He's Nick Foles. He wasn't good with the Rams. He wasn't good with the Chiefs.
Let's not forget, this guy's not Carson Wentz, and he can't do it. Back to Foles. He's going deep down the far side of the field. And good! Touchdown!
Seen a little bit out of Nick Foles that we haven't seen much this year.
For the first time in 13 years, the Eagles are headed for the Super Bowl.
Wow, unbelievable. 14-point underdog. Excellent quarterbacking by second-year man Tom Brady. The Patriots are world champions again. Back-to-back. 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
You join the elite teams in the history of the National Football League.
The greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, led by the greatest quarterback.
As Danny Amendola, Bill Belichick said, when you look up good football player in the dictionary, his picture is right there beside it. The Eagles' Torrey Smith, he's already been in a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens back with John Harbaugh. Also scored on that 41-yard TD and a flea flicker in the NFC title game when the Eagles were underdogs. Torrey Smith and the Eagles have certainly embraced that underdog role, literally. And if you were wondering, what's the origins of all those dog masks? Here's your answer.
The dog mask is kind of a folklore now. Lane Johnson and Chris Long came up with them.
Me and Chris Long are pretty good friends, so after a practice we were eating lunch together. It was like, hey, since everybody says we're the underdogs, why don't we just get ourselves an underdog mask?
I turn around and there's Lane, this massive dude in this really creepy dog mask. He was barking at everybody, and then from there it really took off.
It's great for the fans. Can this work in a Super Bowl, though?
Well, it's good for you. It's great to be mad. It's great to have energy, but you aren't going to beat the New England Patriots with energy and being mad. You better play smart and play well.
Well, I remember the last Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl coming out of halftime. We're all hyped up. Tom Brady throws 2 screen passes dead into blitzes, big plays, gets him on a roll. Really the difference in the game.
Everyone's talking about the Eagles chip on the shoulder, but guess who invented that chip? The Patriots.
Not the Patriots, you. Rodney Harris.
Right. The Patriots have a chip on their shoulder. It starts with Tom Brady, like you talked about earlier, but also Deion Lewis told me he's tired of everyone underestimating them.
All right, well, the Eagles might be ready to surprise some people, but the reality is, once again, the Patriots have come to the Super Bowl full of offensive threats.
Lucky to have the best teammates in the world, because without them, we're not going to Minneapolis to play in the Super Bowl.
The Patriots have all kinds of weapons.
Gronk is just a man amongst boys out there.
He's a freaking cyborg.
Physical at the line, physical within the route.
Oh, he's running over people.
The ultimate mismatch, no matter who tries to guard him one-on-one.
One of the best that ever played at his position.
James White, of course, the Super Bowl hero.
James White's just so smart.
Runs it left into the end zone.
I love to watch him play. I love to block for him, too, because it's hard to tackle him.
What a nice combination. 2 guys that have a nose for the end zone.
Deion is electric.
Lewis has a first down and more.
He's a smaller guy, but he plays like a big guy.
Into the end zone. Touchdown. Great run by the little guy.
Brandon Cooks, too fast. A nightmare for defensive backs.
Lobs to throw down the right side for a wide-open Cooks. Adios.
Speedy, just gritty.
Touchdown, Patriots.
Boy, what a weapon this Brandon Cooks has turned out to be.
He looks down the middle. He fires, and the ball is caught in the back by Danny. It's a catch.
Danny, I don't know where to start. Unbelievable.
Playoff Amendola is back.
Every game in the playoffs since I've been here, he's come up huge.
Tom Brady, a once-in-a-generation player.
He's so competitive and so fiery. That's why we love him as our leader, as our captain.
Greatest quarterback of all time.
You just know that when it's time to go, he'll be ready.
Whatever it takes.
When you see guys like Kobe or Jordan do stuff like that, really raise their team's level of play, and Tom does that with us.
How many times can they do this? It's ridiculous.
All right, let's start with the question everybody keeps asking you guys. How do you stop Gronk?
Well, it's tough because they have so many weapons. Tom's got so many chess pieces, and what he'll do is use motions and shifts to try to figure out who's got the one-on-one. And whenever Gronk has it, that's where he's going. That big man over the middle is so tough to handle.
Yeah, but once you decide to double-team Gronk, then they have other weapons. Brandon Cooks, he's come in, he's done a good job for him, and most DBs are afraid of his speed.
This is complex ball faking here. Look how it draws the eyes of the defense away from Deion Lewis. Now it's an easy 5-yard pass for a big 30-yard gain.
And I think we're going to see tons of these screens, short passes, quick to the running backs, let them run in traffic.
Actually on both sides of the ball.
And that's why you like James White to have a big afternoon.
I really do. I think he's going to catch 8 to 12 balls today.
We ran into Bill Belichick yesterday as we were going onto the field, and he was all smiles, said hello to you, Coach Harbaugh.
We were taking pictures.
Taking photos with everybody. Bill's in the photo-taking mood here. Here he is with his 3 children. His 2 sons are assistants. His daughter Amanda is the lacrosse coach at Holy Cross. Belichick going for his 6th Super Bowl title in 17 years. Up next, some of the Patriots' memorable comebacks along the way.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Zelle. This is how money moves. By M&M's, a proud sponsor of Super Bowl 52. Always fun. by Trivago.com, The Hotel Search, Hotel Trivago, and by Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
Here in Minnesota, kickoff a little more than an hour away. Patriots trying to win their 6th Super Bowl. 3rd in the last 4 years. Got some star power. Silver Linings playbook star Bradley Cooper, big Eagles fan. Mike Trout on hand as well, 2-time MVP. He's been to a lot of the games this season. And Steph Curry is in town. He's a Panthers fan. Maybe he's an anti-Patriot fan. We're not sure. The Patriots' unprecedented run of success over the last couple of decades has come with controversy, drama, and some unforgettable comebacks, ranging from their biggest Super Bowl wins to their last victory, and that was just 2 weeks ago.
Hey, we've been in worse situations than this, huh?
Outside of execution, ultimately, it's about trust.
Tom fires back to the end zone. Touchdown, Amendola!
They have to look at you and know that you're going to do your job and they're going to do theirs.
We need a big championship drive. That's what we need. Tom looks left, throws for Edelman. Touchdown, Patriots! They're back in the lead. What a win. Great job. They took every second. That's like tougher, harder, tougher, everything. Everything we got.
I've never thought, man, we're out of this game.
Tom takes the snap, throws it for Amendola. Touchdown, Patriots!
And there were so many plays when you look back, you go, man, if we didn't make that one play, that was it.
Direct snap to James White, runs up the middle. He's in for 2.
Nothing too much is said when we're losing. You just want to play your hardest and do whatever you can to fight, scratch, and claw to get back in the game.
57 seconds to go. 2 for the Tide. Tom to pitch, throw to Amendola. Screen left. It's a tie again. Once down by 25. We go to overtime. Toss sweep right for James White. Goal line! They have completed the greatest comeback. When I say halftime, it's going to be a hell of a story. Whatever it takes.
Playing with a guy like Brady, you can be in any game. You're never out.
Throws caught. Turns it up and in for the touchdown. And here come the Patriots.
His ability to get his teammates to play well is what makes him great.
He looks down the middle. He fires, and the ball is caught in the back of the end zone. Danny, playoff Amendola.
It makes for something pretty special when it ends up happening.
Tony and John, you know that feeling. You know when the comeback is starting.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do to stop it?
Well, sometimes there's not a lot you can do to stop it. And I can tell you, Dan, you can talk coaching and preparation and play 60 minutes and all that cliches, but it starts with that quarterback. I know I had Peyton Manning. We never felt we were out of a game. When you've got Tom Brady back there, there's that confidence that you can always win it.
That's right. When we've beaten New England, we've been able to take the game to them in the fourth quarter. I mean, you got to get after this team. You've got to make plays. If you don't, they will. Hit the quarterback, hit the receivers, cause turnovers, take some shots deep, try to make big plays.
2007, our undefeated season, we had the #1 offense in the league, and he established the mentality. He said, don't take off your shoulder pads, don't take off your helmet. I don't care if we're up by 21 points. We're going to continue to play for 60 minutes.
You know, another thing you've always told me is that Coach Belichick and the Patriots, they count on the other team making mistakes. They want to keep the pressure on you, and when you don't do something right, they're ready to jump.
And that's why you got to keep the pressure on them. Put the pressure on them. Get after this quarterback. Knock the ball loose on these guys.
But that's why I say you guys talk about them being aggressive offensively. You have to be smart, not just aggressive.
All right, Nick Foles and the Eagles hoping a New England comeback isn't part of the story today. There's Nick. The team believes in their quarterback, who stepped in and led them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Foles in the gun. People were confident in Nick.
Foles, he breaks away.
Coaches were still aggressive with Nick because they knew the type of quarterback that he is.
He's going deep down the field.
I'm a Foles fan.
53-yard strike.
I know what he's battled, the thoughts he had. I mean, at one point, he almost thought about retiring.
When you know what you have in a guy that's proven himself on a number of occasions, you know, you don't lose hope, you don't lose confidence. You keep it rolling. Let's go.
Hometown heroes. Nick Foles, Austin, Texas.
I've known Nick since 2003. I was the head coach in high school. We had a lot of good quarterbacks come through our program, starting with Drew Brees.
Nick Foles broke Drew Brees' single season and career record. He was talented, and he was head and shoulders above really anybody else in the class.
Nick was the rock that held everything up.
He was always the type to put the football down, pick the basketball up, come right into the season with no training and be ready to go. Give him the ball and watch what he does with it. He was going to outcraft you and outsmart you. If you played on the team with Nick Foles, you were confident that you were going to win the game. It was as simple as that.
So Nick Foles trying to follow in Drew Brees' footsteps and become the second quarterback from his high school to win a Super Bowl. Tony Dungy talked with the 29-year-old Foles about the unlikely turn his season has taken.
Carson Wentz took a big shot, so they've got to check him out.
You see Carson dive in the end zone and gets up limping. What's going through your mind?
I didn't go grab my helmet because I wear an earpiece, but I knew where it was. But I'm like, he's good. He's up, and he obviously finished the drive, ends up throwing a touchdown on one leg, comes off to the field, and they went and checked him in the tent. And that's when, Frank came up to me and said, he's down, you're up, let's go.
Nick Foles has to get ready.
But when I went out there, I was like, all right, just clear my mind, just play, react.
That is it. As the Eagles defeat the Los Angeles Rams. What a game!
Went to sleep at night, got my sleep, spent time with my wife and my daughter, my dog. If I don't mention my dog, he's gonna be upset. He's the emotional one throughout all this. But it's just living that moment, then just everyone just working together throughout the process.
There is concern about this team's offensive state of readiness going into the postseason.
All the talk during the first part of January, the Eagles can't do it now. Did you take that personally?
It probably gives you a subconscious edge. You don't even realize it. But there's a lot of criticism on me, our team, and I think the big thing is we stuck together. We had some great, amazing practices, high-speed practices, and we were able to go out there and execute on game day.
What a tremendous win for the Eagles as they have advanced to the NFC Championship game.
Coming into the playoffs, something clicked. Tell me what happened.
I think what I had to realize the last month was I just needed to play. And some people will be like, well, weren't you playing? Well, there's a difference. There's a difference when you're thinking through everything perfectly, and there's a difference where you just react.
Foles steps up. He is looking. He is going deep and alone. And in for the touchdown is Jeffrey.
We were able to execute and play at a really high level as a team. The energy in the stadium, the energy in the locker room was the highest energy I've ever been around. And we were able to control that energy and put it on the field and execute. Playing fast, that's hard to stop. That's not schematics. That's just playing fast.
The Eagles are headed for the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to make it any bigger than a game because it's easy to realize it's the Super Bowl and then it can cloud everything. So I'm really just focusing on the game, focusing on the prep, and then when I get out there, just honing in as fast as I can and playing fast.
What's the plan of attack for Nick Foles?
Well, Doug Peterson went to some things that allowed Nick Foles to just play, as he talked about. And one of those is that run-pass option. Call a running play, but let Nick read it out. If the run is taken away, he's got an option to throw it, and he's made these decisions in the playoffs so well, gotten away from bad runs into good passes.
Yeah, when you're playing against the Eagles, you have to be disciplined. Devin McCourty told us you have to play pass first. Here's Patrick Chung, one of the most reliable players, peeking in the backfield, getting beat. That's going to be Zach Ertz. He's going to have his hands full if he's looking in the backfield.
Coach Belichick and that staff is going to take away this college option passing attack. And they're going to do it by blitzing and playing tight man-to-man coverage, eyes in the right spot.
And I'll tell you this, everyone thinks that because they struggle so early in the season that it's all fixed. But when I watch the tape, you still see guys running free in the secondary, some breakdowns and coverages, Coach.
I think the key word is discipline. You said Patrick Chung, eyes not where they were supposed to be. They've got to maintain discipline tonight.
Tom Brady has just taken the field. You can tell by the reaction here.
Is that the Eagle fans?
There's quite a few Eagle fans letting Tom Brady know they're in for a long afternoon. These Eagle fans have been loud, loud, loud. We'll take you onto the field right after this. Live with the players, one of our favorite segments that we do every Super Bowl. You see Doug Peterson, second year as the head coach, going to the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick in his second year in New England went to the Super Bowl. We're back right after this.
52 pregame show on NBC is presented by Turkish Airlines.
All eyes on Nick Foles as he takes the field, 29 years of age, considered retirement in 2016. Tony, you spent a lot of time with him last week. Got to know him quite well.
Yeah, and for Nick, I was amazed at the comfort level he has. His team believes in him. He's fired up to be out here, and he is excited to play this game. He knows he doesn't have to outplay Tom Brady. He just has to play well.
But I also think for him, it's important to establish some confidence early, some screens, some quick plays, just to get his confidence going.
NFC title game, 352 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. As we're on field at U.S. Bank Stadium, both teams warming up as we give you a feel as we get ready for Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis. And some of the star players, Brandon Cooks, his first year, he comes over from New Orleans, and here he is in a Super Bowl.
And this Super Bowl is exactly the reason they got him. This young man has speed. He can make plays on the outside of the field. So if they Philadelphia stacks the inside to take away those backs and receivers, he can make one-on-one plays on the outside.
Dion Lewis, Rod.
Dion Lewis, I had a chance to sit down and talk to him, and boy, he's a guy that's fiery, got that personality. I think he's going to play a big role. I don't think they're going to have a lot of success running the ball, but they're going to run the ball just enough to keep him honest.
But look for him making plays, catching it.
And Dion Lewis drafted by the Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey.
He's a big receiver, and Nick Foles really had to get used to throwing to him. Alshon is not going to be wide open like Brandon Cooks. There's going to be tight coverage, but he's so big and physical, you just have to throw him the ball. When he's in tight quarters, he'll come down with it for you.
And he played with Stephon Gilmore in college at South Carolina. Zach Ertz, you think he's going to have a big game, Rod?
Yeah, I really do. This is the one guy that they're worried about, and they can move him around. When I saw him in warm-ups, he's a lot of deep inside routes. Patrick Chung will be matched up against him, but this is going to be a very difficult matchup for him.
Here comes Gronk, cleared from concussion protocol and ready to go.
Yeah, he missed last year's Super Bowl. I know he's going to be anxious to play. Jacksonville did a really good job of double covering him, taking him away in the red zone. My only question is, how will his conditioning be since he missed some days of practice?
Dan Rodney says he can still cover Gronk one-on-one. If he can do that, I think Philadelphia wants to sign him right now, because you can't cover this guy one-on-one. There will be double coverage tonight all day long.
Gronk, first-team All-Pro. How about LeGarrette Blount? He got any secrets to tell the Eagles?
I'm going to tell you something. He knows the Patriots well. They know him well, and he has a fire under him. Coach, deep in the middle, tough runs.
Yeah, inside running, pounding, especially in the red zone. Look for him tonight. Not boxing, hopefully.
Stephon Gilmore, I mentioned that he was teammates with Alshon Jeffrey in South Carolina.
Started slow at the beginning of the season. He's had some miscommunication, some blown coverages. But one thing Bill Belichick said, he makes the key play in the most valuable moment of the game. This kid can play.
You talked earlier about defending the run-pass option with tight physical man coverage. He'll be in bump and run a lot tonight on those receivers.
All right, when we're down here on the field, I love to watch what you guys are watching or listening to. What did you notice?
Well, go ahead, Coach.
For me, this atmosphere is so great to kick. It's just a kicker's park. Both these kickers were bombing field goals earlier. Patriots Super Bowls always seem to end up with a field goal here, field goal there. I think either team that has to kick a field goal to win it, the kickers can make it from 55 plus.
I just look at the atmosphere and the nerves. And that's my big question. I know the Patriots have been here. They're experienced. They're really relaxed. I look at Nick Foles. Once again, Coach, I think it's really important to establish him and gain him some confidence.
But as Tom Brady told me earlier in the week, I don't care how many times you played in this Super Bowl. When you come out that first time, it hits you. And you can see that. All right, let's go back over to Liam and Coach Harbaugh.
Coach, you've been watching the coaches here on the sideline. Anything out of the ordinary?
Like we always do, kind of killing time, maybe pumping guys up just a little bit, but they're both excited. You can see that.
Take me back to Super Bowl 47. What were you like on the sideline before the game?
It was the same, killing time, chasing my brother around. He was pretty locked in. Once I caught up with him, we had a good time, good conversation. He actually was pretty loose before the game.
Early on, he wanted no part of it.
He was not loose early, but I loosened him up a little bit.
Here we go back on the field. You see Darby on the field right now. What does he mean in this game?
Well, Darby's going to be big because he's a guy that's going to be physical. He's going to press. He's going to not let guys off the line of scrimmage. Plus, he's a good edge tackler when the Patriots try to get the ball outside.
Does he need to play a little bit tighter?
I think he does need to play Saturday. I think he will. We talk about him playing off. Just because he's not in your face doesn't mean he's going to drive routes. He jumped a curl 2 weeks ago for an interception, 2-3 weeks ago. This guy's going to be aggressive and off coverage.
So, Darby preparing for this man, trying to defend Tom Brady, named NFL MVP last night. And up next, Tom Brady and his mom will look back at an emotional win a year ago and what could be in store tonight as Brady and the Patriots take on the Eagles. With another look from above the scene in Minnesota, aerial coverage brought to you by Bud Light.
San Mateo, California.
Tom Brady was the backup quarterback on the freshman team. We were what's called the 2 group.
We had a rough year. Went 0-8 on the season. In fact, I don't think we scored a touchdown all year. Sophomore year, Tommy came in as our quarterback.
So that summer, he got myself and the other receivers together, and he decided that we're all going to work out hard, work out together, so that we would never go through another 0-8 season like that again.
Brady completes to Kirby at the 20 to the 10.
A tribute to that hard work was we wound up playing in the championship that year. You would never think, you run around catching passes from your high school quarterback that he could turn out to be one of the greatest of all time.
I love that shot of Brady. Looks like it's straight out of Happy Days. A year ago, while battling cancer, the only game that Tom Brady's mom, Galen, was able to watch in person was the Super Bowl. And now, a year later, she's doing better. And both Bradys are back.
A 5-yard touchdown pass has given the Falcons a 28-3 advantage over the Patriots with 8:31 to go in the third quarter here in Super Bowl 51.
It's so hard for me to see them losing. It's the only time that I really get kind of mean. And not mean, but...
Mean.
Yeah.
A touchdown and a title for the Patriots! I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Everything that she went through last year, you have this dramatic comeback. You look out and you see her and you give her that hug.
Yeah.
Like, what did that hug mean to you?
It meant a lot. I mean, my mom, anyone who knows my mom is all heart.
I could not have gone through it without him. Tom was... he was awesome. He was with me every step of the way.
She's come in this game, and it's a very different year than it was last year. We've had so many things to celebrate, but this is really special to be back here in her home state. I have a lot of family here, and hopefully I can go make everybody proud.
When did you know you could be great?
That's a tough question. A lot of times when I watch myself play, sometimes it's hard for me the next day to watch the film because I'll go like this and I've got the clicker in one hand and I'm going, oh, why did I do that? What a stupid player, a terrible throw. It's usually takes some years to really watch some games and go, oh, that was a good play. Oh, what was I thinking on that play? Oh, that was a good throw. Oh, that was good footwork. But so much of it for me is always probably painful to watch. I still, in so many ways, see myself as someone who is athletically deficient and, can't do what the other guys do, which I guess has been a real blessing for me in my life, too.
He fires and the ball is caught in the back of the end zone by Danny Amendola. Touchdown, Patriots!
I'm curious the last couple of weeks if you've heard this talk comparing you and Michael Jordan with your careers with winning, not as athletes, but sort of...
That's true.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, right? Yeah, that's a pretty select company of most decorated team athlete in the last 30 years. Do you belong in that category, want to be in that category?
It's not stuff I think about very often. I mean, when I was a kid, Michael Jordan was everything. I had his posters on my wall. I had Joe Montana and Steve Young, and I loved baseball. I mean, Don Mattingly and Wade Boggs, and those guys, there's a special place for them. I don't think I could ever be compared to them, just because the way that I see them in my eyes.
Hey, this is our quarter. This is our quarter, fellas.
How are you going to fill this void?
In my life when I'm done playing?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea.
Are you going to be a football coach for your boys? Are you a baseball coach? And even then, are you going to be one of those coaches that's yelling and screaming and firing? And
yeah, probably. I mean, I'd love to coach, obviously, my kids. That would be really fun for me.
And the cool thing is your kids are old enough to at least see Dad play, because a lot of football players, they're out of the game by the time their kids are old enough to understand exactly what Dad has done.
Yeah.
And you're able to get questions when you go home. Does your 10-year-old Jack ask you questions?
Oh, yeah. He's got me picking his fantasy team. He's going, Dad, you know. And I said,
does he pick you?
No, of course not. Of course, he can't pick his dad. He's got, oh, Dad, yeah, I tried to pick you, Dad. But, you know, Cam Newton was there. So, I mean, I got to pick Cam Newton. And I'm like, I don't blame you. I'd pick Cam Newton, too. The kids have brought me so much joy in my life. You know, I just love them so much. And I'm glad they're going to be here. I mean, last year was so cool. I had all 3 of my kids there after the game, my wife, my mom, and dad. It was really special. You know, hopefully we can make another great memory on Sunday night.
I asked Tom, how does somebody with 5 Super Bowl wins have a chip on his shoulder? And he said, I don't know. It just has to be there. It almost feels like it's game day uniform.
That's who he is every day. We were 3 years ago flying home from a Michigan recruiting weekend with my daughter Allison and Tom Brady. And I asked Tom, talk to a 13-year-old athlete, what makes you great? An hour later, every bit of adversity, every slight he ever felt. We're talking about Drew Henson. We're talking about his high school days. Everything that drives him and motivates him. Great educational experience for Allison, but also for me. I learned a lot from that guy.
I knew Tom would be great when I walked in the weight room at 5:30 in the morning, and he was already there. And then when I walked in the film room, he was already there. He's just something special about him. No one takes care of their body better than Tom Brady.
The amazing thing to me, he's won 5 Super Bowls, and he's still every day just doing more to be the best football player in the league.
Coach, he still views himself as a 6th-round draft choice.
One thing that stood out in the interview is he said he loves the power when his teammates look in his eyes, even when they're down 28-3 to Atlanta. He feels like, I can't let you down.
And talking to Deion Lewis and Danny Amendola, those guys are afraid. They don't want to let him down. It's like he's their father, and they don't want to disappoint him.
He's not going to. That's the thing. That's what leaders do. He makes everybody around them better. That's why he's the greatest of all time.
All right, it'll be a familiar chess match. It's Tom Brady against a top-flight defense, and both sides appear confident. Do you know what Philadelphia is going to do right now?
I have a pretty good idea.
It'd be difficult for them to surprise you.
Well, I mean, they could try.
We're taking on the GOAT. We got to get it done somehow, some way.
He's hit. The football comes loose. It's picked up by Cox. Touchdown, Eagles!
This defense, man, is a bunch of angry men. A bunch of guys that go out and lay it on the line.
Intercepted by the Eagles on the pitch. And in for the touchdown. It is Brandon Graham.
There are no weaklings. We don't care who makes the plays. Everybody contributes.
Malcolm has been a great leader for us this year.
He's grabbed and brought down by Malcolm Jenkins.
Fletcher has been an absolute beast on the field.
Don't mess with Fletcher Cox.
Chris Long has added a great veteran presence.
Chris Long cannot be stopped.
We don't have a ton of big names, but I think we got a lot of great players on this team, and people can step up.
We all got to be disruptive up front to have a chance against Tom Brady.
Love the way this defense is flying around, getting after the football.
We got a big old chip on our shoulder, and we want to go out there and prove.
Eagles football.
When's the last time you doubted yourself?
I mean, it's been a while.
Oh, I love that. He tried to be humble, but he was being honest.
He's never doubted himself, Dan.
No question about it.
Okay, the chess match that goes on here. I know Coach Harbaugh talked about this earlier, that you just start to guess a little bit. You got to try to outguess Tom Brady. Is that what you think?
You do, and you heard those Eagles defenders talking about being disruptive. They know they have to do that. They have 8 or 9 linemen that play, but it starts on the outside with speed rushers. Chris Long has been unbelievable in these playoffs. This is what they're going to need from the outside rush.
But to me, the key is pressuring Tom Brady up the middle. You talked about it. Fletcher Cox said he has to be awesome in order for him to win. But once again, this is the idea. Blitz the linebacker directly in Tom Brady's face, create one-on-one matchups, and flush him outside the pocket.
I think a real interesting matchup is going to be Fletcher Cox inside against Joe Thuney. I think that'll be a matchup. We'll see how he holds up. He's a vicious factor inside.
And the Patriots, the crowd reacting to the Patriots walking off the field. Some of the stars on defense, Brandon Graham.
Well, we talk about Fletcher Cox and Chris Long, but this is the guy that, to me, he's really the X factor. He is an unbelievable rusher. He's got a great motor, Coach.
Relentless, and he will need that tonight.
Look at him, man. He's ready to go. The energy this guy has, he's going to move him all around the front. He's going to be a matchup game for that guy right there.
He's already got a full lather worked up there. How about Malcolm Jenkins?
Well, Coach, I know when I said this earlier, both of you guys looked at me crazy. But this is the one safety I believe in the National Football League. And I'm not saying he can completely shut Gronk down, but I don't think he needs help double-teaming him every single play.
And if the Pats go no huddle, which they probably will at some point, he's going to be key, making those defensive communication calls, getting people lined up.
Absolutely. The Eagles have a hockey line rotation. They have to get their lines on the field. If the Pats keep that defensive line on the field, it's going to be a track meet.
I'm going to tell you this. I expect Tom Brady to go hurry-up offense. I've seen that before. If you try to rush and you switch guys on and off the field, hurry-up offense, screens, draws, play action, anything to slow down that defensive line.
Think about the substitutions, too. Now, we got to run people out and off the field, and Tom could get those guys with 9 guys, 10 guys, 12 guys on the field.
Yeah, you have to practice against that, but what they've got to have Philadelphia on defense is poise, especially early in the game. They're going to see formations they haven't seen. They're going to see quick snap counts. How fast can they react?
Early in the game, keep it simple, gain the confidence, and make sure you don't blow any coverages.
This is a fast-playing defense now. They're going to get after him.
When I asked Tom, do you know what's going to happen? And he said yes. And I said, can they surprise you? And he's like, they can try. His counterpart, obviously, Nick Foles, going for his first Super Bowl title. You wonder what kind of emotions he's got coursing through his body. And Tom Brady, that's how he came onto the field. That's when the crowd reacted. Some good, some bad. We're close to kickoff here in Minneapolis.
For the first time in 13 years, the Eagles headed for the Super Bowl.
The Patriots are bound for Super Bowl 52.
My favorite Patriots memory has to be last year's Super Bowl, being down 25 and the team just never giving up.
I have been waiting all my life for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl.
Tom Brady is a great role model, and he's very handsome.
My name's Kelly because the Eagles were Kelly Green when I was born.
That's just good parenting.
What do you think of the Eagles?
I don't.
To the Patriots fans, this year isn't your year, it's our year.
The disrespect will not be tolerated. All year they done told you what you couldn't do. It's ain't everybody to do their job. You're going to the Super Bowl, man!
We all we got. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love.
They make everyone happy.
We will taste sweet victory.
This is Pat's country.
We will fly.
Eagles.
37 minutes until kickoff of Super Bowl 52. The faces of two football nations, the Patriots and the Eagles. The anticipation an entire season is coming down to this as we welcome you back on Field Live with Tony Dungy, Rodney Harrison, and John Harbaugh of the Ravens. What have you guys noticed down here?
Well, we were down at this end, the Patriots end, when they were warming up. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't help but look at the business-like atmosphere. You can tell these guys have been here before, no nerves at all. I went up to James White and I said, you know what, if you guys win, I think you'll be the MVP. He looked me right in the eye. He said, you know what, I think you're right.
Wow.
Yes, he did.
I got a chance to hug Tom Brady. He gave me a hug. He said, I love you. And he gave me that little wink. I've seen that wink before. That means he's going to have a big game tonight.
I'll tell you what, down there in the Eagles end, a lot of friends down there talking to those guys. Incredible amount of resolve. Very calm, very loose. But they are so determined to win this game. I think the fan base is the same way.
I think a big story tonight is the conditioning. Because the last time we won our Super Bowl against the Eagles, they were tired. And they've had some guys sick this week. So I think conditioning plays a big factor, as well as Rob Gronkowski. He missed some time. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the fourth quarter.
I'm with John, though. I noticed how loose the Eagles seem to be, and I don't know if they don't know what's coming, what's in store for them, but they are really relaxed.
I think Doug's done a great job. I mean, he hasn't used up the energy. They're pretty calm. They're gonna save it for the game.
The one thing I want to see the Patriots do, I want to see them come out and start fast, because they cannot afford, or with this team, against this team, to get behind like they did last year.
And you know, the Philadelphia system, the first 15 plays. We heard Coach Peterson talk about, I've got to script it up. I want the plays Foles likes. That a lot of times helps them get off to a good start.
The Eagles make big plays, man. They got a chance to go up top early in this game and get a lead.
But they're one of the better teams at getting off to an early start in the NFL this season. Meanwhile, the Patriots have never scored a touchdown in all of their Super Bowls. Who wins and why?
I like the Patriots. I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Are you crazy?
I think the Eagles are going to hold them under 24 points. Fly, Eagles, fly.
You used to be an Eagle coach, right? Special team coach?
I think the Eagles are going to win the game.
I've been riding the Eagles all playoffs, so no time to stop now. I believe in Nick Foles.
Well, he's fallen in love with Nick Foles and used to be an assistant coach with the Eagles. You don't get a playoff share, John.
I believe in this defense. They play fast. They're physical. They're going to be here tonight.
All right, we're ready. It's almost here. Two passionate fan bases, one that's gotten very familiar with this stage. The other desperate for their first Super Bowl title ever. Their hopes in the hands of these players. Patriots, Eagles coming up, Super Bowl 52. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya have the call following Carrie Underwood with her new hit, The Champion, to kick things off.
This portion of the Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC was brought to you by Turkish Airlines.